Yeah. So find a comfortable way to begin, whether it's sitting down or in child's pose, lying on your back, just meeting your body where it's feeling energetically right now to start. So in the recent couple of classes, we've been talking about the surge of emotions to digest, along with a pandemic and the uprising for human equality. There can be a lot to digest where it feels that emotions like anger or frustration or fear can feel imprisoning. It brought me to pull out this old book, The Four Agreements. Might be familiar to you. And it's by Don Miguel Ruiz, where he relays Toltec, ancient shamanic wisdom about living in freedom. Freedom in the sense of human spirit. And just briefly, the four agreements are the first, to be impeccable with your word, living in integrity. Second, not taking anything personally. Third, not making assumptions. And the fourth, always doing your best. But I'd like to read a little excerpt at the end where he talks about the freedom we seek is to use our own mind and body, to live our own life, instead of the life of the belief system. In past weeks, we've been talking about samskaras and hindering beliefs that we might have about ourselves or our world. When we discover that the mind is controlled by the judge, judging ourselves or judging others, and the victim, this replaying of times we've been hurt and adding to that narrative. And the real us is in the corner. We have just two choices. One choice is to keep living the way we are, to surrender to the judge and the victim, to keep living in the dream of the planet. The second choice is to do what we do as children when parents try to domesticate us. We can rebel and say no. We can declare a war against the parasites, a war against the judge and the victim, a war for our independence, a war against the parasites in the mind. So we come together in this community space hoping to build consciousness through our seeking of self-care in a way that is not denying what we're feeling, but processing it through our bodies and our minds, and even observing the beliefs that surge to surface when we're meditating. So let's use this time to connect with what needs to be seen within us, to address it in a compassionate manner, so that in all these loving qualities we nurture for ourselves, we can then empower ourselves to hold that kind of space for others. So if you're lying down or you're in child's pose, please start to make your way up to a comfortable seat. You might even like to elevate your pelvis, but firmly root down through the left and right sides. As you gently engage the belly, lift up through the center of your spine. Let the shoulders soften down. Maybe close your eyes a moment, resting your hands on your lap or setting a hand on your heart, a hand on your lower belly. Beginning to drop your attention within as you feel the natural movement of your breath. And tune into how your body is communicating its physical needs to you. And then perhaps clarify an intention for what you are cultivating but what you're choosing to focus on this hour. Allow a deeper in-breath to fill up space within your torso. Perhaps you feel a lift in your chest. And then through the mouth, slowly exhale a sound you could hear. Feel the emptiness at the bottom. Invite a deeper inhalation. Observe if there's any tension in the body you can start to release as you breathe out through the mouth. Continue mindfully lengthening your breath equally now, in and out. And by closing your lips, helping to warm up your body for movement. Listen to that soft whisper at the back of your throat as it means to focus your mind. And then begin to reach your right arm behind your back. Maybe it lands on your lower back, maybe it lands on your outer hip on the left side. And then place your left fingertips on the right side of your skull. Keep lifting the lower back, grounding the pelvis, and then gently drop your left ear down towards your left shoulder. Feel the rhythm of your breath. Relaxing the muscles on your face consciously. Soften the eyebrows, soften the lips. As you keep your left fingertips just a gentle weight to traction movements of your neck, start to look downward at your left collarbone. Take a full cycle of breath here. Feel the collarbones widen. And then start to look upwards towards the sky. Pause, take another cycle of breath. Breathing freedom and expansion in your lungs. One more time, look down at your left collarbone. Deep breath. Then look up towards the sky. Then releasing both of your arms, let's switch the left arm behind your back, either onto your sacrum or the right side of your hips. Use your right fingertips to gently lean on the left side of your skull to drop your right ear towards your right shoulder. Feel the breath in. Follow the breath out with your attention. Feel the gentle weight of your right fingertips as you start to look down at your right collarbone. Pause there, take a full cycle of breath. Feel both collarbones widen away from the center of your chest. Then start to look up towards the sky. Full breath here. One more time, turn your gaze down towards your right collarbone, keeping the right ear close to the shoulder. And last time, look up towards the sky. Deep breath. Then release both of your hands. Let's start to come down onto all fours, hands and knees. So as you set your knees right under your hips, paralleling your shins, come up high on your fingertips. So your center of your palms are really lifted strongly. So you're not sinking your weight into the floor, but rather you're rebounding your weight off the floor. Walk the hands just a couple inches ahead of your shoulders. And let's take cat-cow like this, strengthening the muscles around your wrists. As you breathe in, start to stretch your spine forward from the pelvis. Then coil your chest up, sliding the shoulders down your back. As you breathe out, pull in the belly, tuck the tailbone under your body, then round your back entirely. Let's take about 3 to 4 more cycles of breath like that at your own. Inhaling as you lift the heart, gazing up. Exhaling as you round the back by contracting the belly. Cat-cow pose or Bidhalasana. Feel your weight on the very tips of your fingertips. Feel the center of each palm lifting and hollowing, feeling strength around the wrists, lightness in the shoulders. Now, relax to a neutral spine, plant your palms flat on the floor, and keep your hips directly above your knees. Firm the belly towards the back, like you're trying to keep a flat back, and then walk your hands forward, keeping the arms straight. Hands reaching as far forward as possible to really feel your fingertips reaching ahead so you can draw the shoulders back away from the neck. And then rotate the outer sides of the upper arms downward. So you're broadening the shoulder blades across your upper back, really a lot of space throughout the neck. Keep lifting the belly. Pull the sitting bones back, hips right above the knees, and find length here through all of the back, lower, middle, upper neck, for 3 more breaths. Feel as though there's a string connected to the crown of your head, threading through each vertebra to your tailbone, and that string is being pulled from the top of your head towards the ground beyond the space between your thumbs. So lengthen through all the sides of your neck. Take 1 more deep breath. So this is half downward facing dog. And if you're feeling like your energy is more suitable for this version of downward dog, you can always take it like this. Otherwise, walk your hands back so your wrists are again a couple inches in front of your shoulders, and this time palms flat. Then tuck your toes and take a regular version of downward facing dog. Take a few breaths if you want to pedal your feet out and stretch the backs of your legs for a moment. Maybe swivel your hips and see if there's any sensation there to explore. Common area to hold tension from emotions are the hips and pelvic region. Feel that your neck is completely relaxed. You're letting the weight of your skull and brain release the neck while you're rebounding weight through the floor from your palms pressing down to lift the shoulders and continue to broaden the shoulder blades across the upper back. Begin to hold still. You might bend the knees a lot, especially in the beginning, to find the fullest length of your spine, lifting the hips high, drawing your weight back. Let's take 1 more breath here in Adho Mukha Svanasana. Now, as you breathe out, walk to the front of your mat to stand in a forward fold. Feet hips width apart, parallel, a little bend in the knees. Press the ground to your shins and breathe in to stretch your spine forward, allowing more weight to shift towards the balls of your feet. Keep the weight heavy there and exhale to fold. Firming down through the feet, inhale, rise tall, reaching the arms up and watching your palms touch. Then exhale your hands together at your heart. Inhale, raise your arms overhead. Feel the circular motion at your shoulders. Exhale, hinge from your hips and bow forward. Press the ground of your legs. Inhale, lift your chest. Look towards the tip of your nose. Plant your fingertips on the floor. Step the left knee back into a kneeling lunge. Untuck the toes. As you firm the right foot still, raise the arms overhead, tilting the tailbone forward and down, lifting the back ribs and coiling your chest up. Circle your hands behind you into the floor flat. Then step to plank, top of a push-up. Pausing there, take a full breath. Lifting the sides of your waist, you could have your knees on the ground or legs straight. Then on your next exhale, glide forward, slowly lower, hugging the elbows towards your sides. Ground the tops of your feet and inhale to a baby cobra, just slightly lifting your chest, relaxing the shoulders down. Press to your hands, lift up into your version of downward facing dog. Take a full cycle of breath there. Feel expansion and release. Then on your next inhale, raise your left leg behind you. Exhaling, bend the knee, turn open at the hip. Inner thighs apart. Take another breath in, draw the right hip back. As you exhale, carefully step the left foot just inside of your left hand. Lower. Let's stay on the ball of the back foot actually. Come into a high lunge here. Take a look forward and ground through both of your feet to slowly rise all the way up to crescent lunge. Put a bend in your right knee to allow your tailbone to drop downward, lifting the lower belly towards the heart. Reach up through the arms, sideways. Take another breath. And then lower your fingertips ahead of your left foot, like a foot ahead on the ground. Lift the right leg, flex the toes down like a modified warrior 3. Then step the foot forward, hips width from the left. Forward folds. From down to your feet, inhale, circle the arms, rise all the way up to stand. Take hold of your left wrist and exhale, lift to side bend to the right. Take another inhale to rise up, holding your right wrist, lift, then side bend to your left. Inhale, rise to center. Exhale, open the arms and bow forward, second side. Inhale, lengthen halfway up. Lower the fingertips. Exhale, step right knee back to a kneeling lunge. Untuck the toes. From the left foot still, raise the arms and spine as you breathe in. Coil the chest up. Draw the tailbone down and forward. Continue to circle the arms behind you into plank pose. Stepping into plank, take a full cycle of breath. Lengthen through the sides of the neck. On your next exhale, glide forward. Hug the elbows to your sides, come all the way down again. This time, interlace the fingers behind the lower back, round the tops of the feet, and breathe in just to coil the chest up. Head gently follows. Take another full breath here. Feet stay on the floor. Tailbone is actively lengthening towards the feet. On your next exhalation, lower your hands flat, tuck your toes behind you, and lift into your downward facing dog. Take a full cycle of breath here. Inhale, raise your right leg behind you. As you exhale, bend that knee and turn open at the hip, splaying the thighs apart. Breathe in, draw the left hip back. Exhale, carefully step the right foot just inside your right hand. Stay high on the ball of the back foot. From down through the feet and slowly rise all the way up into crescent lunge, bending the left knee and dropping the tailbone downward. Lift up from the tailbone, crown. Remember that imaginary string lifting. Then lower your fingertips 1 foot ahead of your front foot on the ground. Lift the back leg, flexing the foot, squaring the hips. Look forward and softly step left foot, hips width apart from the right. Forward folds. Inhale, circle the arms, rising all the way up. Interlace the fingers, palms inside out. Exhale, side bend to your right, hugging in the belly and the front ribs. Inhale, rise up to center. Switch the interlacing in the fingers, palms up. Exhale, side bend to your left. Inhale, up to center. Exhale, bow forward. Sun salutation A. Breathe in to lift your chest. Exhale, step back to plank and lower through chaturanga. Either down to cobra or halfway down to upward dog, use the inhale to float your heart up. Engaging the belly, lift your hips back. We'll meet in downward facing dog. 3 to 5 breaths. Feel the steadiness of your breath as you direct it. Bending your knees, lift your heels and hips high, look forward. Bottom of your exhalation, lightly land your feet at the top. Breathe in to lengthen halfway. Breathe out to fold. Circle the arms, inhale, rise up. We'll take one more round of the same sequence of Sun A. Exhale, the hands to the heart. Inhale, sweep the space around you, lifting the heart, but relaxing the shoulders. Exhale, dive into a bow. Inhale, lift the heart, lengthen the spine forward. Step to plank, or maybe you float back this time into chaturanga. Breathing in, lift your chest, cobra or upward dog. Breathing out, we'll meet in downward facing. Take a few breaths here. Savoring the fullness of your inhalation and the complete allowing or release of your exhalation. And from here, inhale to raise your right leg behind you. As you exhale, cross the right knee to your left elbow and begin to straighten the right leg to the outside of the left edge of your mat. Flexing your right foot, lean on the pinky toe edge of it. Now spinning your left heel to the floor, push off the floor with your right hand and start to raise the left arm towards the sky. Keeping that right leg strong, feel your weight rebound off the floor through those 3 limbs. Lifting the right hip, sweep the left arm overhead towards the front of your mat and take another 1 or 3 breaths before we meet back in 3-legged downward facing dog. Draw the right shoulder blade down your back, firm the belly towards the back, and as you're ready, make your transition. From 3-legged downward facing dog, right leg to the sky, breathe in. On an exhale, lightly step the foot forward just inside of your right hand and lower the back knee and tuck the toes, making sure that your legs are hips width apart. From down through the front foot and rise up. So you might want to use a strap as we open up this left shoulder here. If you're feeling any tightness in it, you can grab that strap and let it hang behind you from your left hand. Otherwise, follow me. So bend your left elbow behind the center of your head so the left palm lands just between your shoulder blades. And if you don't have a strap, grab onto your shirt. Press the left shoulder down. And then reaching the right hand underneath, grab the other end of the strap or your shirt and walk your hands as close together as you can. Maybe you clasp the hands. Now feel stability through your legs. Without actually moving them, let it feel as if you're dragging your legs towards each other. The right knee and toes firmly face forward as you lift the lower belly towards the back, broaden the chest on an in-breath. Now exhaling, slide the shoulder blades down, lift the back ribs, and begin to tilt your gaze and your heart up. Let's take a few breaths here. Feel that the bend of your back is occurring mostly right under your scapula, where the bra strap would be, ladies. And then the tailbone lengthening down, and even slightly tilting forward, seeking your inner right heel. Breathe in. Feel expansion around your heart space. Breathe out. 1 more breath. Now start to raise both arms overhead. Maybe the palms touch and you look up, taking just 1 inhalation here in Anjaneyasana. Then lower your fingertips to frame your right heel. Tuck the back toes to lift the knee and step the left foot forward about 1/3 of a full lunge range. Spinning the back heel flat, keep your legs straight, and take your right thumb to hook the crease of your right outer hip back, leveling your 2 hips like you could balance a book across the lower back. From down through both feet and spread your toes, engage the fronts of both thighs, and then stretch your left arm and spine forward as you breathe in, shoulders back. Now you can lower the left hand on your right shin, on the left side on the floor, left side of your right foot, maybe on a block, or this will take you a little deeper into the twist on the right side of your right foot. Keeping the pelvis still and balanced, keep stretching the spine from it, and at your waistline, continue to twist. If you feel pretty stable, raise your right arm up, and let's take about 4 more breaths here in revolve triangle. Firming down through your feet, breathe in to lengthen the spine forward. Firming your outer hips towards your midline, breathe out to rotate your chest open. Feel the reach of the right hand, encouraging openness in the right side of your chest. Press the shoulder blades down your back. Let's take 1 more breath. Harita Trikonasana. Then look down in front of your right toes. Plant your fingertips 1 foot ahead and do come to Warrior 3, flexing the left foot. Lift the leg parallel to the floor. Keep the stability of your hips. Lift the lower belly, extend your chest forward, look towards the tip of your nose. You can keep your hands on the ground. You can bring your arms back by your sides, join them in prayer, reach them apart or forward. Taking 2 more breaths. Virabhadrasana 3. This time bring your hands to your hips and step the left foot hips distance from the right to stand. Inhale, sweep the arms overhead. Perhaps a gentle back bend, lifting the chest. Exhale, bow forward. Inhale, lengthen halfway. Step back to plank, optional vinyasa, or meet us straight in downward facing dog. Though you're meeting yourself where you're feeling energetically to start, if you're on one end of the spectrum, whether tired or very energetic, see if you can add a little bit more of the other end of the spectrum to help balance out by the end of the practice. So meeting in downward facing, steady breaths. Inhale, raise your left leg. As you exhale, cross the left knee to touch the right elbow or tricep and straighten the left leg to the outside of the right edge of your mat, flexing the left foot, lean on the pinky toe edge of it. Then spin the right heel to the ground, push off the floor with the left hand, and raise the right arm to the sky here and fall in triangle. Breathe. Lift the left hip. Sweep the right arm overhead towards the front of your mat and take at least one more breath, maybe several, before you meet us in three-legged downward facing dog. Feel that lengthening in the right side waist. As we meet in three-legged downward dog, from down through your hands, take a breath in. Then exhale, lightly step your left foot forward inside of your left hand. Lower the right knee and untuck the toes. With your legs hips width apart, from down to your feet, and lift the arms up. Grab your strap if you're going to use it for your right shoulder. So feel stability in your legs before we start to arrange the upper body. Legs are hips width, front knees just over the heel, and you're energetically scissoring the legs together while lifting your pelvic floor. Then lift the strap from your right hand so it's hanging behind you if you're using one. Bend the right elbow behind the center of your head and drop your right palm between your shoulder blades. If no strap, take hold of your shirt. And then the left hand comes underneath to hold the other end of the strap or grab your shirt. Then walk your hands as close together as you can. Maybe they clasp. Restabilize to your legs, your center, and breath. Then lift up through the sides of your waist and broaden your chest. Right under the shoulder blades, begin to bend the back and tilt the chest up, starting to gaze up. Keep softening the tops of your shoulders down so that all of the sides of your neck, even the back side of your neck, stays long. Notice the lower back here. Think of anchoring the tailbone down and forward to seek your inner left heel while you lift your back ribs away from the tailbone. Let's take 2 more breaths. Then raise both arms overhead. Maybe the palms touch for a deep inhalation, perhaps continuing that back bend in Anjaneyasana. And lower your fingertips to frame your left heel. Tuck the back toes, lift the back knee, and step the right foot 1/3 forward of your full range in a lunge. Legs straight, both heels on the ground. And as you have both hips facing forward, use your left thumb to hook the outer crease of your left hip slightly back to keep that squaredness. As you stretch your spine forward, reach the right arm ahead. Then at your waistline, twist and either lower the right hand on your left shin to the right of your front foot or to the left of your front foot. Continue to twist as you breathe out. Firming down through both feet, strong through the legs, engage the front of your thighs. Breathe in as you lengthen your spine forward. Breathe out as you keep twisting and maybe raise the left arm. Now feel the reach of your left hand towards the sky, helping to open the left side of your chest. Let's take the last few breaths here. Then look ahead of your left foot and begin to walk your hands a foot in front of it, coming into Warrior 3 as you flex the back foot and lift that leg parallel to the floor. Look ahead of you, squaring the hips, lifting the side waist, any variation with your arms that you want to use to explore your balance. We're going to meet differently this time, stepping that lifted leg all the way to the back of your mat so that you can pivot to face the wide width of your mat in a wide stance. So as you open your arms, facing the wide width of your mat, have your feet apart about as wide apart as your hands. Then from your hips, rotate your legs so that you can pivot your feet to face your left foot. So your left foot becomes the front leg. Align your left heel to intersect the arch of your right foot. Then bend your left knee just over the heel. Consciously wrap the left sitting bone under your body, turning out the leg, and firm the top of your right thigh bone back, turning in the leg. Feel your hips try to even out as you engage the lower belly. Then reopen your arms, broaden your chest, and relax the shoulders. Steady your gaze just ahead of your left hand and lengthen up through the center of your spine. Remember that imaginary string threading from the tailbone to the crown, lifting up. Deep breaths here. Let's take one more breath in Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2. Now rooting down through both feet, let's prepare for triangle. Straighten the front leg. You might shorten your stance a couple of inches. Slide your hips sideways towards your back leg and reach the left hand ahead of your left knee before lowering it onto your leg, or just to the left side of your leg, right up against it. Keep wrapping the left sitting bone underneath your body, from down to the big toe mound of your left foot, the outer edge of your right foot, and stretching your spine forward, rotate your chest slightly to face the ceiling. Maybe you look up past the right thumb. If you want more of a side stretch, sweep your right arm overhead in the direction of your front foot. Keep sliding the shoulder blades down your back. Utthita Trikonasana, triangle pose. Let's take 3 last breaths. By pressing the crease of your left hip back towards your right heel, find space along the left side of your torso and lower back. Nice. Bring your right hand to your right hip. Look forward of your left foot, shifting into half moon. Bend your left knee. Crawl your left fingertips about 6 inches ahead of your left pinky toe to the left. Drag your right foot forward and flex the foot to lift the heel to the height of your hip. Turn your chest open again in the same direction as you did in triangle. Maybe raise the right arm up or go for Ardha Chandra Chapasana, which is full moon. If you're taking that option, bend your right knee towards your belly. Use your right hand to catch the top of your right foot. Think of a bow and arrow as you're kicking the right leg straight to where it was. You're pulling the foot to help you open the right inner shoulder without losing control in your center. Draw the navel in. Keep tacking the left hip crease back. Whatever version you're in, let's give it 2 to 3 more breaths before gently stepping back to Warrior 2. Nice transitions. Take your time when you're ready. If the right knee was bent, slowly extend it and gently land it. So keep that wide stance and let's just straighten the legs from your hips, rotate the legs and pivot your feet. So now your right foot becomes your front leg. Align your right heel to intersect the arch of your left foot and find a wide stance for Warrior 2, wider than triangle. Bend your right knee to stack just above the heel. Feel the turn out of your right leg from the hips so the sitting bone wraps under. While you firm the top of your left thigh bone back, the left leg slightly turns inward. Hip bones try to balance as you engage the lower belly and re-extend the arms. Now, as you might sit a little lower or deeper into the legs, the lower portion of the body, imagine that string again, threading from tailbone through each vertebra out to your crown, lifting. So there's two energies of rooting down, instability, and rising up in expansion. Just like the rise and fall of the breath. Steady your gaze for 3 more cycles. Beautiful. And then grounding through both of your feet, straighten your front leg to prepare for triangle. You might want a slightly shorter stance. Then slide your hips sideways towards your rear leg, reaching the right hand past your right knee before lowering it onto your leg or just to the right side, outside of it, pressing against the leg. Feel that you're still able to roll that right sitting bone under your body and lengthen the right underside of your torso by drawing the right hip crease back towards your outer left heel while actively lengthening through that imaginary string from the crown of your head. Feel the shoulders relax as you turn your chest slightly to face the sky. If you did so on the first side, sweep the top arm overhead for more of a lateral stretch. Let's take 3 last breaths in triangle, Utthita Trikonasana. Now, preparing for Ardha Chandrasana, you might place your left hand on your left hip. Look at the ground ahead of your right foot and steady your gaze and breath. Bend your right knee, crawl your right fingertips about 6 inches forward of your right pinky toe out to the right. Drag your left foot forward and flex it. Lifting the heel towards the height of your hip, turn your chest completely to face the wide width of your mat again. Steady breaths. Now, if you took Ardha Chandra Chapasana, full moon on the first side, bend your left knee towards your belly and use your left hand to catch the top of your foot or ankle. Kicking the leg towards straight where it was, pull the leg with your hand and engaging the belly, open the left front of the shoulder. Draw the right hip crease back, just like you did earlier, to lengthen the right side of your body and give it at least 2 more breaths, maybe longer, so that when you feel ready, you gently step back to Warrior Two. Nice transition. As you get back to Warrior Two, straighten the front leg, and let's step up to the top of your mats. Let's flow for 1 round here. Breathe in, sweep your arms up towards the sky, maybe add a gentle back bend. Breathe out, bow forward. Steady breathing, inhale, lengthen halfway. Float back or step back into your version of vinyasa. Cat-cow if you prefer it. We'll meet in downward facing dog. Take a few breaths in downward dog to ground through fingers spread. Rotate the triceps towards the ground, releasing the neck. Lifting the shoulders and hips high and firming the fronts of your thigh bones back. Belly firm. Weight sinking down through the heels. 2 more breaths. Feel as though you could brush your breath up and down your spine. Cultivating length. Cultivating awareness. Now from downward dog, inhale, raise the right leg behind you. As you exhale, lightly step the foot forward inside of your right hand for Warrior One. Spinning the back heel down, make sure that your feet are about hips width apart so that you're able to turn both hips evenly to face forward. Firm down to your feet and rise up to stand. So here in Warrior One, feel that you're bending the front knee just over the heel and drawing your right hip back slightly. Feel your left leg entirely straight as you press the outer heel into the floor, bringing the left outer hip forward. Now dropping the tailbone downward, engage the lower belly and lift up the frontal hip bones. Feel your pelvis become more neutral and upright. Then bend the elbows apart and slide the shoulder blades further down the back, lifting through your crown. Cross your left elbow over the right Either hooking your thumbs or wrapping your forearms and palms, feel your shoulder blades spread wider across your back ribs. As you continue to soften the shoulders down, lift your elbows up towards the height of your shoulders and gently press the forearms away from your face. Now honor again the alignment of your legs as you set them up in Warrior One, bending the front knee. Feel your center contained. Now in your mind's eye, see your upper back and the space behind your heart. Sending loving awareness there with your breath for 3 more cycles. And with your exhalation, lower your 2 hands just inside of your right foot, scooting your right foot out to the right for your version of lizard lunge, whether you want to keep your back knee lifted and stay more active, or lower your back knee, and perhaps even bend it to reach for your left foot with the right hand, offering your left quadricep lengthening. Now you could choose to keep your right foot flat on the floor facing forward, but if you'd like to direct more attention to your IT band, flex your right foot and splay the thigh open so that you're leaning on the outer edge of the foot. And if you just want more sensation overall to happen in that right outer hip, you can lower onto your front forearm or 2 forearms if they're in front. So as you breathe, extend your heart forward. Feel the space in your neck, the broadening of your chest. Gently scissoring the right outer hip towards the rear of your mat. Let's take 3 more deep breaths. If you have hold of your back foot, gently release it. Start to plant your right foot between the hands, coming into half or moving towards full split Hanumanasana. Start to slide your right heel forward as you draw the right thigh bone back deeper into the hip socket. So as you raise the ball of your right foot, you're flexing the foot in a way of pressing the big toe mound forward and flaring the right pinky toe back. Now you could stay high, the hip lifted, or you can start to tuck the back toes. This will help to keep the hips squared and maintain integrity in the posture, and explore deepening into full split Hanumanasana, where you slide the right heel forward. Really just take your time. Engage the front of your right thigh to offer support for the back of it. Keep plugging the right thigh bone back into the hip socket and allow the left hip to shift forward like you did in Warrior One. Think of continuing to lift the frontal hip bones by engaging the lower belly. So whatever version of Hanumanasana you're exploring, let's take 3 to 5 more breaths. Notice the upper body. Is there any reaction there? Any arising tension that you could release by being aware? Or is there a different part of your body that's seeking your attention through more sensation as we hold this? Let's take 1 more deep breath. Now take your time coming out of it. Use the support of your hands alongside your hips and drag your right heel back towards your pelvis, stepping your way into downward facing dog. If you like to take a vinyasa just to flow it out before switching sides, feel free to do that. Or maybe cat-cow, or maybe child's pose. Reunite your attention with your breath. Now arriving in downward facing dog. Inhale, raise the left leg behind you. As you exhale, softly land the foot forward inside of your left hand for warrior one. With your feet about hips width apart, spin the back heel down and keep both hips facing forward. Root down through your feet to rise up, arms overhead. So let's bring the attention to your pelvis here. Aligning the two hips to face forward and the pelvis like a bowl to sit upright. The inner right thigh spins slightly to face the back of the mat, carrying the right hip forward as you straighten the right leg, firming down to your outer right heel. As you bend the front knee just over the heel, firm the front of the left thigh and scissor the left hip back. Feel the rise and fall of your breath. Bending your elbows apart, slide the shoulder blades down. Then take the right elbow and cross it over the left. Hook your thumbs or wrap your forearms and palms. As you keep softening the shoulders down, feel the length of your neck. Lift your elbows towards the height of your shoulders. Gently press the forearms away from your face. Now notice the broadening across your upper back. Send your breath and awareness there. The area behind your heart. Feel the foundation of your legs. Let's take 3 more breaths. On your next exhalation, set your 2 hands on the ground inside of your left foot, lizard lunge. Step your left foot a few more inches to the left. Either stay high on the ball of your right foot or lower your back knee. Try to go for the same version as you did on the first side. If you're going to bend the right knee, scoot it back a little bit so that when you catch hold of your right foot with your left hand, you're not leaning your kneecap against the floor. You're leaning your thigh against the floor. If you want to focus more on your IT bend, flex your left foot and splay your left thigh open. So you're leaning on the outer edge of the foot. And if you just want to deepen this posture overall, come down lower onto your forearm or forearms, whatever's in front. Now feel your breath and feel any voices or messages from your body as you hold still and listen. Two more breaths. If you have hold of your back foot, gently release it. Let's prepare for Hanumanasana. Start to place your 2 hands in front so your left foot is in between them. Legs are still hips width apart though. Slide your left heel forward and plug your left thigh bone back, lifting the ball of your left foot. Flex your left foot in a way of pressing the big toe mound forward and flaring the pinky toe back towards the outer knee. Now you could stay in Ardha Hanumanasana, keeping your right hip directly above the knee, or start to move towards full Hanumanasana to whatever degree that you can maintain integrity of squaring your hips. That can be helped by tucking the right toes as you start to slide the left heel forward. Breath by breath, engage with the sensations in your body to guide you to the depth that you need to be at. Engage the front of your left thigh and keep thinking of scissoring the left hip back, the right hip forward, lower belly in, frontal hip bones up. Observe your upper body as well. Is there any reactivity there? Like tensing in the forehead, between the eyes or the jaw. No need to judge any of it, just being aware and soften or release what's not necessary. Feel the quality of your breathing. Let's give this 3 more breaths. Now we're going to exit differently, so you might start to drag the left heel back. Take your time, do it mindfully. And though you're stepping back to all fours, you're going to bring the feet in front of you to sit at the middle of your mat. Yep, and then once you're sitting down, see that your feet are in front of you, hips distance apart and parallel. If you have a yoga block, use the skinniest width to hug between your thighs. We're preparing for bridge pose. Then come all the way down onto your back. If you want some core stability, strengthening, you can slowly lower down to your back, taking your time. But when you do come all the way to the ground with the knees bent, slide your feet back so that with your arms right by your sides, you could almost touch your heels with your fingertips, but not quite. Then pressing down through the 4 corners of each foot, thighs parallel, hips width apart. Lift your hips slowly and actively lengthen the fronts of your thighs forward. Slightly spiral your inner thighs towards the floor without pigeon-toeing your feet. As you tilt the chest up, tilt the chin slightly back away from it, then walk your upper arms under your back ribs, maybe the hands clasped. Give yourself about 5 more full breaths here before lowering on an exhale to rest. Feel the full expansion of your lungs, stretching the walls of your ribs. Heart center rising. Literally feeling light-hearted. And when you do decide to lower 1 vertebra at a time, separate the feet a little wider than hips width, and gently drop both knees to the right slowly, then both knees to the left slowly, a few times gently side to side. Softly massaging your glutes, releasing your lower back. Then turn all the way over to one side and gently press the ground to rise up and sit. For a little bit, last focus on the spine. Extend your left leg forward. Grab your strap if you want to use it to wrap around the ball of your foot. Place the sole of your right foot high on your inner left thigh. We're going to take a twisting version of Janushirshasana. Place your left hand on the floor, just outside of your left hip. Hold the strap in your right hand. If no strap, raise your right arm. Then ground your 2 sitting bones and lift the spine tall. Turn your chest to face the left upper corner and start to fold in that direction diagonally. Feel the weight of your right sitting bone counterbalancing. Now using the strap or pressing your right hand against your outer left leg or catching the outer foot. Imagine there's a string pulling your sternum right between your collarbones towards that upper left corner. Feel an openness at your chest, your throat, as you lengthen all the sides of your neck. Now bring your attention to the right side of your lower back. As though you have lungs there, take a deep breath and expand it. As you exhale through the mouth, consciously relax the deep muscle there. 2 more times. Into the right lower back, inhale, expand. Sighing it slowly out through your mouth, exhale, soften. 1 more. Now begin to lead with your chest as you inhale to lift the spine. transfer the strap right away to your right foot if you have one. If you have a strap, not a foot. And bring the sole of your left foot to your inner right thigh. Place the right hand on the ground outside your right hip. Hold the strap with your left hand or raise the left arm, flexing the right foot. Ground the sitting bones, sit up taller as you breathe in. Twist so that your chest faces the upper right corner and begin to fold in that direction. Keep weighing down through that left sitting bone. Now, if you're not holding a strap, press the back of your left hand against your outer right leg or catch hold of your outer foot. Imagine there's a string pulling your sternum towards that upper right corner, keeping your throat and chest open. Grounding and lengthening for a few more breaths. You might bring your attention to the left side of your lower back here. Imagine you have lungs there as you take a deep breath and expand it. Feel the release there as you exhale to soften it. 2 more breaths into the left lower back. Starting from your chest, breathe in to lift your spine upright. Extending your legs forward so they're wider apart than hips width. Roll your thighs inward and outward and just shake out your legs, shake out your feet. Loosen up your ankles, toes release. And then whichever way they naturally roll, let them go. Imagine you're holding a huge beach ball, or better yet, a huge tree trunk, giving it a hug. As you tuck your chin to your chest, hollow your belly, and begin to lower your spine all the way to the ground. Once your skull meets the earth, drop your arms slightly away from your sides and turn your palms to face up. In a gesture of openness to receive and to give. With eyes closed, release control of your breathing and let your body be still as you expand your awareness of it. For the last 2 minutes of our practice, choose to either stay in Shavasana or join me in a seated meditation. If you're coming up to sit, start to make your way up there. Sitting, if you are, eyes closed or gently gazing at something just in front of you. Allow the anchor for your mind, whether it be your breath, an object you're gazing at, or a steady, soft sound, to establish presence. Feel the breath in. Awaken your lungs. Exhale through the lips. If you're lying down, gently make your way up to sit. As you sit tall, join your palms to meet at your heart, bowing in. Let's close our practice. Chanting one Om. Take a deep breath. The light in me bows to the light in you. Namaste.